We have made it to the new year, into 2029 here in year number 5 of the Golden State Warriors, my NBA franchise here on NBA 2K25. Today we're going to make it up to the trade deadline, which is where we will begin in the next episode. So pretty much exactly a month worth of action as we get through January. The dog days of the season, but still an important stretch as we try to continue to find ourselves and where this team needs to get better going into the deadline. We're in 5th place in the West, but things are going well right now. We've won 5 in a row, only 2.5 back of the number 1 seed, and we've been playing much better offensively. Just a couple games ago, we were 4th to last in scoring, and now we are towards the middle, while the defense is still amongst the better units in the league in the top 10. We have changed our system around. Our tempo, I think, fits our team better. And I think this is going to prevent injuries as well. We played a very grit and grind style of basketball. And while I like that our team can win off of strength and grit and toughness, playing like that in November and December and January isn't sustainable because everybody's going to be exhausted come playoff time. And as we saw last year, everyone's going to be either injured or exhausted by the end. The Sonics have only won 2 games. That is really depressing. Out east, the East has been consistently worse than the West, but not this year. Detroit, Brooklyn, Indiana, Boston all playing really well. And then look at this. 11 straight wins for the Washington Wizards, who finally have a good team. They've picked in the top 5 for 5 straight years. But the addition of Scoot Henderson has changed this team drastically. And the crazy part is Scoot isn't even healthy. He's currently hurt. But this team has been able to win without him. Young guys like Cam McKnight and LV Mihaljevic have really blossomed. Toronto, Orlando, Atlanta, all very strong as well. It is a loaded group in the Eastern Conference. There are some very bad teams in our league. It's not just the Sonics. The Huskies are playing better, but they're still pretty abysmal. And then the Milwaukee Bucks have lost 12 games in a row. What is going on with the Bucks? 2 years ago, they looked like the best team in the East with Giannis and Jaden Ivey, both of whom are still there. I mean, maybe not for long. I wouldn't be surprised to see them implode at the deadline. It's kind of crazy that we barely beat both Seattle and the Huskies. Only beat the Sonics by 10 and the Huskies by 6. Eek. The next worst team after them is the 76ers. Of course, we're paying close attention to them and the Clippers because this is finally the year where we have that Sixers-Clippers swap best pick that we acquired all the way back in season number 1. I've been waiting for this pick to be an extremely valuable asset, and here it is. The Sixers are really bad, and the Clippers are not much better. This is one of the most valuable draft picks right now in the NBA, and it could really be a big bargaining chip for us in a trade, or it could give us another really good young player for this core. I think this should be the most valuable pick in the league when you factor in the fact that only one of these 2 teams would need to jump in the lottery, given that it is a swap best pick. If the Sixers want it back, they'd be willing to give us Kelly Oubre, which is a pretty abysmal offer. I would think that pick in real life would not be worth 3 stars. I think 4, maybe even 4.5, because you have to factor in that it's a swap best. And all it takes is for one team to get lucky. Instead of banking on one team's odds, we have almost doubled the chance of moving into the top 4. I would think this pick would be even more valuable than, say, Seattle or Montreal's, because the Sixers' odds alone are not too much worse than those 2 teams. But you factor in the Clippers, who are also a bottom 10 team right now in the NBA. I would say this pick has better odds than anyone to be at the very top of this class. So because of that, I think right now this is the most valuable draft pick in the league. Quite the asset that we hold with this young group. In terms of the guys we currently have on the roster, the big story's been Kajai Stokes, who has more than doubled his estimated wins added. 24.5 points per game on 63% true shooting. I feel like for the first time, we have a clear number 1. We've got guys like Kuminga and Salis, of course, who are playing well. Roman Loggins-Burrell has been good as well in spurts. Those 4 guys have definitely been our 4 best players this year because the offense from the 2 bigs has not been great. Mobley's efficiency has been rough, and Jabari's has been worse than rough. 43% from the field, even though his points, rebounds, and assists have gone up. He's regressed from last year. You can tell by his true shooting. Estimated wins added is under 2, whereas last year it was at 9. He's not anywhere near as effective as he was, especially towards the second half of last year when he was balling down the stretch in the playoffs. So we need our bigs to play better, and we need the bench to play better. Other than Antoine Salis, this has been one of the worst bench units in the entire league. So those guys got to step up. The team is fully healthy right now. I cannot remember the last time we've gone a week with this team without injuries. I would guess the most recent time would be season 2 at best. I mean, this is really exciting that our group is fully healthy right now. And I feel like we have a chance to take advantage here in January, even with what's going to be a really hard schedule this month, especially early. Through the first 2.5 weeks, every team here is good. So it's going to be a big challenge for us, especially this little cluster of Eastern Conference teams with Toronto, Atlanta, Orlando, Indiana, and Boston, all of whom are in the top 7 in the East. I kind of want to play the Hawks, so we'll simulate past Miami and Toronto. Even the Heat, who we didn't mention, they're no slouch either. They're currently in 9th place in the Eastern Conference. Tyler Hero this year has been terrific. He's averaging 30 off the bench. So no, Antoine Salis does not have a chance for the 6th man of the year, even though he's obviously been playing quite well. So we would get offered a trade during this stretch from our good friends in San Antonio, and it is interesting. I think that's the nicest way to put it. Aside from the fact that this would be an awful basketball trade, trading away who's our best player right now in Kajai Stokes, a fringe all-star, for an average 3-and-D role player, I mean, that would be stupid in and of itself. But the optics of this trade would be even worse because there are some players in the NBA who will just never play for a certain team. Chance Palermo will never be welcome here after what he did last year in the playoffs, kicking Antoine Salis deliberately in the kneecap, ending his season. Chance Palermo will never have a spot here in Golden State. It's easy to see why the Spurs want to do this with Luka tearing his Achilles. They did just trade for our former teammate D'Angelo Russell a couple days ago, sending away Robert Williams. So now they improved their guard depth. They don't really have front court depth anymore. But yeah, this would be a hilariously awful move. It would be bad for basketball, and it would be even worse in terms of the optics. In the game against Toronto, Jonathan Kuminga broke his nose, and Roman Loggins-Burrow pulled his hamstring. It'll be 2 to 4 week injuries for both of them, probably teetering more towards the 4-week side on each, which is not ideal. We did score 184 points against Miami. The perimeter-centric system has worked exactly how we intended. Our offensive numbers are up, while, at least before the Raptors game, injuries went down. 40 points for Stokes, 32 for Rolog, 3 other players with at least 20. Did lose to Toronto, although Stokes played very well again. But with no Kuminga or Roman Loggins-Burrow likely until the trade deadline, it's going to be a big challenge for us offensively. That's 2 of our 4 best scorers. So basically, Kajai Stokes and Antoine Salis are going to be running the show over the next month. Both of these guys are going to have to play a lot. We're going to need one of them in the game at all times, given that our next 2 best scorers are hurt, and then Springer and Mobley have disappointed on offense, especially Jabari Springer. And we're going to have to give some more guys some run off the bench. Jacoby Walter's going to have to play more, which, given his efficiency, I'm a little worried about. Romero Birkin is going to have to play quite a bit more as well. So definitely not ideal timing with this really hard stretch. Over the next 2 weeks, we're only playing good teams. Atlanta might be the worst team here, and they're still really, really strong. Currently in 8th place in the East. They made a big splash this offseason acquiring Chet Holmgren, a deal that I really think is going to work out for them. They needed to add a true star, and that they did while keeping much of their young core. Shaden Barnabas has taken a leap. He looks like an all-star. They've got a really deep roster. They will be without Naheem Martin, former 7th overall pick, who's been great this year. Nearly 50-95 shooting splits from him. That's a big loss. But they still have 7 or 8 guys who are really, really good, who would start on most teams. They've drafted well with the 10,000 lottery picks they've had in this series. And I felt like the timing was right to go up and cash in on a guy like Chet Holmgren while still keeping all these other guys. Look at a player like J.D. Little, for instance, 62% from 3 in his last 10 games. This is one of the best perimeter shooting teams in the league. This is a group of guys who can get hot at any given moment, and given that we are without some of our offensive firepower and 2 very good defenders in Rolog and Kuminga, it's not going to be easy. As the tip will go to Chet Holmgren, we are underway here in Golden State. Warriors and Hawks battling it out. Atlanta, one of the most fun young groups in the league, and a team who I think is going to be a legit contender as soon as maybe the end of this year. Quick step back 3 for J.D. Little to get things started. 3rd-year guard out of Notre Dame. Kajai Stokes with it on the drive. It's a very favorable matchup for Stokes. He dominates against smaller guards J.D. Little's not big. He's 6'1", maybe 6'2". Very favorable for a guy like Stokes to put up some big offensive numbers. Zachariah Rice with the jam. Fourth-year forward out of Duke. One of the few guys who I feel like has disappointed for them this year. Hasn't really gotten better since his rookie year. Efficiency is low, but still a player they believe in strongly as Little hits another three. 6 early points in the opening 2 minutes for the former Notre Dame guard. Saley's in the corner. Kajai Stokes buries the three. He's got 7. The 2-point guards battling it out early. I wouldn't be surprised if these two lead their teams in scoring today. Stokes on the drive with Holmgren. Crafty layup. He's got the first 9 for the Warriors. With arguably our second and third best players out of the lineup for the next month, we're really going to see how much of a star Kajai Stokes is. Is he this all-star who we are rightfully propping up? And how about Antoine Saley's as the true number 2 scoring option? How will he fare in that role as he makes the dunk? Little, another 3, another make. His third triple already, connecting on that one over Leonard Miller, who starts at the 3 without Kuminga. Shaden Barnabas inside, fourth-year guard from Kansas, looking to make his first all-star team this year. I think he's got a compelling case, having his best year as a scorer and as a great defender. Bad 3, but Holmgren is there with the rebound, getting around Leonard Miller, and he gets the putback dunk. Golden State calls time, trailing by 4. 19-15. Nice pass. Stokes all the way with the jam. Good feed by Leonard Miller. 19-17. Bona with the screen. Stokes looking to get around. Mid-ranger on the move, no good. Bona the rebound, pump fake, and the putback! The raging Bona with the slam. We're tied at 19. Springer backs up on Little. Somebody's got to be open. We're going to try to get this matchup again. Where's the open man? It's Walter, who's not really open. Misses. Springer, the rebound and the putback. He says, screw it. I'll do it myself. Good play there by Jabari Springer. That'll give us the lead. 21-19. Atlanta's offense in a cold streak as Springer connects on the lob from Kajai Stokes. No Saley's in the game. We have to be smart with how we manage our minutes with Stokes and Antoine. As I said earlier, we need one of those two in the game at all times. Stokes all the way with the layup. Barbecue chicken against Noah Clowney as it's 25-21. Backing down on the much smaller J.D. Little. Stokes pump fake, tries to pass it out. That was not a good decision as it's Jovic out to Barnabas. Layup is good, despite nice hustle by Jabari Springer in transition. Let's try this again. Kajai Stokes is so much bigger, so much stronger. He's in with the finish and the foul and 1. If you're J.D. Little, I don't know why you bother fouling. There's nothing you can really do there to stop him. Stokes is one of the strongest guards in the league. Little looking to respond. He does. His 4th 3 of the game. These two guys are putting on a show so far. Step back, triple, off the mark from Princely Kenson, second-year wing out of Duke. Here's Jabari Springer looking to take it all the way, coast to coast. 8 points, 8 boards. Jabari's been pretty good so far in this first quarter as we look to get his season on track. Shot and game clock separated by a couple seconds. 2-point lead. Stokes gets by Little all the way. Layup is good. 18 points in the first quarter for Kajai Stokes. What a start for him in our first game without Rolog, who's really our number 2 shot maker, and without Jonathan Kuminga, who's our second best player. Stokes has had to take on the role of superstar, and he has looked good in doing so early. Into the second, step back, Jay is good for the rookie. Romero Birkin, an effortless shot creator. It's just about overall shot IQ, shooting efficiency, trying to avoid the bad shots as Mobley is in for the slam. I'm not as worried about Mobley as I am with Springer, given that Evan Mobley's obviously a terrific rim defender, but we know he's capable of more offensively. I know it's in there. I thought he was really good the second half of last year on offense. Good step-back jumper by Antoine Saley's. He is 6. 10-point lead now for Golden State. Stur Jacobs out to Holmgren. Inside for the former Warrior. Andrew Wiggins is blocked. Mobley and Outeridge both there in transition. 3-ball is good. Saley's with the release. 43-30. Here is Stur Jacobs, another one of the young lottery picks, the guard from Creighton, with a dime inside for Chet Holmgren, who is there with the dunk. Stur Jacobs with the spin, fools Birkin. Quick 3 is good. The 2026 draft class was really loaded with guards. Obviously, we got both Stokes and Loggins-Burrell. The Hawks got both Stur Jacobs and J.D. Little from that class. So both teams making out really well as Saley's hits the deep 3 really heating up with Stokes out of the game. He's done a good job as the lead shot creator. Both of our star guards playing very well early. Another three, though, that's Jacobs again, who's doing good in place of J.D. Little on the bench. Salis lobs it up. Evan Mobley with the jam. The guard play from both teams has just been so good. It's not just the shot making, but also the passing as well. Case in point. Holmgren's blocked at the rim, though. It's Osborne Outeridge with the denial. Warriors in transition. Salis with it. Step back. Trey ball. Off the mark. That would have been a big make. Would have brought the lead up to 13. Rice with a dime on the other end. Princely Kenson getting back quickly on the fast break as he brings it within 8. 54-44. Here is Salis. Looking to get around the screen from Mobley. Sidestep. Left wing three is good. He's trying to take advantage of the matchup with J.D. Little. He's got 4 inches on him. Pause. 13-point game. Little around the screen. Gets one right back. Another 3 for J.D. Little as it's 57-47. Here's Stokes looking to run by Little all the way to the cup. Stokes right back in the game, right back in the paint. He's been dominant inside. Little no good. Nice defense by Stokes, who is one of the best rebounding guards in the NBA. Around 7 boards a night. Tries to cross up Little all the way. Double teamed. Doesn't matter. What a possession by Kajai Stokes. He's got 22, 18 of which have come in the paint. Shaden Barnabas inside. That one is good despite solid defense by Antoine Salis. 61-49. That one is ripped away from Jovic. It's Stokes with the steal all the way. Taking himself. 24 points now for Kajai Stokes. We need to get this man in the All-Star game with his scoring, his rebound, and his defense. Atlanta with a quick response, though. The lob. It's Shaden Barnabas with the reverse slam. This offense from both teams has been fun to watch. Springer, no look. Walter, that one is good. The playmaking, the ball movement in this game has been incredible. Springer posts up on Jovic. Fade away, passes out. It's tipped and intercepted by the big fella Chet Holmgren. On the other end, he's got Barnabas. Right wing three is good. We are within 7. Big make for Atlanta. They're kind of slowly but surely clawing back into the game. Here's Stokes with it. Gets it to Salis. Pump fake. Rice goes flying, and Salis does as well. 19 in the first half for Antoine Salis. I said these two guards got to run the show for us, and they're putting the team on their back right now. Holmgren with a triple. We are within 7. 68-61. Jovic up to Holmgren with around 40 seconds. Jacobs, the lob. Rice with the flush. Both teams, a lot of lobs, especially Atlanta. Rice launches up a 3, no good. Good defense by the rookie Ramon Hodge. Under 10 to go for Golden State. Stokes with 25 points. Stokes tries to split the defense. He sends it in the corner. It's intercepted by Barnabas. Half-court heave is no good. It'll rattle out. And that'll wrap up an exciting first half of hoops here in Golden State. 70-63, Warriors with the lead. This has been a really fun game so far. Back and forth, both offenses playing really well. Kajai Stokes with 25, Salis with 19. Those two guys have been awesome, combining for 44 of our 70 points. And while I'm super impressed with both of them, we cannot expect them to continue to play this well. The other guy's got to step up. Stokes has 25 points. Everybody else other than Salis has 26. Stokes on the drive is fouled by Little. That's his 4th. I almost don't want J.D. Little in foul trouble, even though he's been really good for them on offense. Holmgren, the drive, the finish, and the foul! Stokes tries to draw the charge. He did not set his feet quick enough. 73-66. If Atlanta can get Holmgren going, that'd be a big deal. He's been good but not great offensively as Barnabas hits the 3. I don't know what Salis was doing. I know people are going to get mad at me because I cannot play defense. I don't know what happened there. That was not on me. Leonard Miller off the find from Jabari Springer. His first points of the game. He's got to start making his shots. Jacobs, quick 3 is good. Stokes wanted to close out as he was starting to drive. He did not expect Jacobs to pull up multiple steps beyond the line. And he did not expect that to go in for sure. Walter's 3 no good. Atlanta playing really well early in the third. Our offense has been very mediocre as Zachariah Rice is there with the slam. We are within 1 score. 86-83. Atlanta could theoretically tie it here with 4 to go in the third. Holmgren the screen. Barnabas for 3 and the tie. It's good. 86-86. Atlanta's offense has been solid in the third, but their defense has been smothering. We have really cooled off. Stokes is not shooting the ball well here in the second half as Atlanta takes the lead. It's Jacobs again. He's playing very well right now for Atlanta. Here is Salis on the drive. Layup is good. We took Stokes out a little bit early. He clearly needs some rest. And hopefully Antoine Salis can weather the storm. He's got 27. Jacobs, Princely Kenson for 3. That one is good. Ramon Hodge just looked confused on that possession. A rookie mistake. 93-88. Here's a Dembona with it. Bona, layup is good. It bounces in. Count it with a foul from Chet Holmgren. 93-91. 2.5 to go in the third. Here's Salis. Step back. Too easy. He's made every mid-range shot today. When Salis is hot from the mid-range, he's unstoppable. Whether he's open, whether he's shooting off the dribble, he's not going to miss it. Springer passes out of the double. The rookie, Ramon Hodge, hits the 3 for the lead. His first points of the night. 96-95, under a minute in the third. Springer, pump fake. Inside, Salis, up and in with a foul. What a great play by Antoine, knowing where to move without the ball. And once he gets the ball, he stops in midair, absorbs the contact, and still makes the layup. That play reminds me a lot of a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Not just that he drew the foul, but all the good stuff he did there as Chet Holmgren makes the layup. 99-97, final seconds of the third. Salis, midi at the buzzer. No good. It does not fall. 99-97. Overall, a good third quarter for Atlanta, but we definitely played better over the last few minutes. We played our best when Stokes was out of the game. I think it's more of a coincidence than anything else. But Salis did a great job leading the offense. He's done a great job with it all game as Birkin makes the layup to start the fourth. Little for 3 over Birkin. It's good. That's a fun matchup with those two guys, given that they're both undersized. Birkin is listed at 6'2". I don't think that's right because he makes J.D. Little look big. Step back 3. Bang! Romero Birkin with a triple. He's got 9. He's been a spark plug for us off the bench tonight. Mobley with it, looking to get back for Birkin. Another 3. It's good again! 12 points for Birkin, 5 of 6 from the field. Efficiency's been his issue this year, but he's making everything. Springer turns it over. Andrew Wiggins ends up with it. Wiggins looks to run the floor. Stop and drops the 3 for the lead. Now it's a 2-point game in favor of Atlanta. Princely Kenson brings it up for the Hawks. Very good matchup with Birkin. He'll go for the 3. It's basically open with Birkin contesting. It's not that Birkin doesn't try on defense. He's pesky. He gives effort. He's just really small. Here is Stokes with it. His 3 is good. Again, basically wide open with J.D. Little, who's just too small to really have an impact on the shot. Stokes with it on the drive. Floats it up, and it's good. Stokes was bad in the third quarter. I think he went 1 for 8, maybe 1 for 9. Playing a lot better, more like himself here in the fourth. I don't know what happened, though, in that third quarter. As Zachariah Rice hits the 3, it's a 5-point game for Atlanta. Stokes' struggles in the third could very well cost us the game, though, if we don't get back on track, although he's doing his best to claw his back in. That's 41 points for Stokes, a new career high, which he just set 2 games ago against Miami. 121-118, Noah Clowney, Little, 3-ball, bang! J.D. Little ups the lead to 6. Make it 10 with 3 minutes to go. We've really got to get moving. Holmgren the block. Mobley with the slam. Right place, right time. Good awareness by Mobley to make the play as it's an 8-point game. Salis around the screen for 3. It's good. 37 and 6 assists for Antoine Salis. We are within 5. 43 points now for KJ. He's played well in the fourth. Throws it up and in. Another bucket for Kajai Stokes. 45-28 have come inside the paint. We are within 1. A 9-0 run for Golden State as Mobley gets the denial on Chet Holmgren. Atlanta's offense has gone cold at the worst time. They have not scored in 2 minutes. Holmgren looks to change that. No! Mobley the rebound. Golden State, who was down by 10 2 minutes ago, can take the lead. Salis with Little all the way. It's good! A season-high 39 for Antoine Salis. 11-0 run for the Warriors with under a minute to go. Holmgren to Barnabas. Holmgren wide open inside with the slam. We got fooled by the pick-and-roll defense. Chet Holmgren as the roller was untouched until the end. 1-point game, under 30. Stokes, the layup. No good! Rebound by Jovic. He gets it to Holmgren. And the Warriors will foul. It's Miller who sends Holmgren to the line. He would make them both, and it's a 3-point game. Warriors with 2 timeouts decide not to use them. Stokes, deep 3 for the tie! 50 ball! 5-0! 50 points for Kajai Stokes. He ties it with a 29-foot 3, and now Atlanta has a chance to win. We're going to take both Stokes and Salis out of the game because they are both exhausted. Stokes is obviously a great defender. Salis is solid enough defensively as well, but I would rather Outeridge and Hodge on the floor because they've got energy. So I think they're going to look for Chet Holmgren. He's been the go-to guy. I don't think we can let him get anything too close around the basket. Evan Mobley's got to play his best defense here. If they're looking for someone to create a shot on the perimeter, it's probably Little. He'll be matched up with Osborne Outeridge. I think the size and length of Outeridge will be too much. If Little starts to go to the basket, though, that could be trouble given that he's a lot faster than Outeridge. So it is Holmgren on the inbound with the screen from Jovic. Holmgren, good look for 3. It's good! Chet Holmgren puts Atlanta up by 3 with seconds to go. We did not want him to get too good of a look around the basket, and, well, we got what we wanted. Holmgren still makes it anyway, and now we basically got to have everybody on the perimeter 5 out. With 2.4 seconds, we're going to have time for 1 shot. Whoever's open from 3, ideally one of the 2 guards, has got to take it. It's, I guess, a good thing that we had Stokes and Salis not on the floor for that defensive possession because they now get a couple minutes to catch their breath. I know Stokes just hit the big 3 off the catch, but I would trust Salis a little bit more in this spot to get himself open without the ball and make a 3, catching it quickly. Mobley will inbound. He's got Salis open 3 for the tie. No good! And Atlanta holds on for the win, 139-136. Chet Holmgren with a game-winning triple with 2.5 seconds left to finish off the comeback for the Atlanta Hawks. Both teams actually had double-digit leads in this game. The Hawks were up by as many as 11 points in the 4th. We were up by as many as, I think, 14 points towards the end of the first half. Look at the shot chart, though. 85% in the paint. We dominated inside, but the reason why we lost this game is we really struggled to shoot the 3-ball. Stokes, 10 for 12 in the paint. Not very efficient from deep. Salis, 6 for 7 in the paint. Great in the mid-range. Not efficient from deep. It's not easy to win when you shoot 30% from 3. As Stokes had 50, Salis had 39, both of which are season highs. It's a career high for Stokes. As I said after the first half, we cannot expect these guys to play this well. They had 44 points combined at that point. In the second half, they combined for 45. Yet the rest of the team just did not give us enough, offensively or defensively down the stretch. Look at the plus-minuses, though. Stokes minus 13, the worst on the team. Salis plus 12, the best on the team. And honestly, the eye test backed this up. I was not surprised at all. I feel like even though Salis went 4 for 16 from 3, that's pretty abysmal, I felt like he was the more positively impactful player in this game. It felt like in the minutes where it was just Salis and not Stokes, the offense was better than when it was just Stokes and not Salis. Regardless, Kajai Stokes was not the problem. Everybody else had to step up, and they did not. 29 and 16 for Holmgren, made the big 3 at the end. 24 for Rice, he played a good game. 7 of 15 from deep for Little, struggled defensively but was good offensively. 23 for Barnabas, 17 for Jacobs, 16 for Kenson. This Atlanta team is built very similarly to us in the sense that they really rely on their best 6, 7, 8 players, and all of those guys played well. Every single one of their key guys had at least 16 points today and were efficient. I will say, though, I'm definitely pulling for Atlanta because their roster is built very similarly to ours in the sense that they've added a lot of good young talent over the years. It's just a matter of getting those pieces to fit together, and the big puzzle piece they needed was their elite rim protector in Chet Holmgren, just like ours was Evan Mobley. The difference is one of them is a little better offensively than the other. So let's simulate to this stretch with Indiana and Boston. We've got the Magic, who are pretty good, the Wolves, who are a contender in the West, and the Jazz, who started the year slow, but they're now in 4th place. They've won 10 in a row or something. They're playing really well. So we ended up going 1-2, which is honestly, given our injuries, about what I expected. I'll take a nice win against Orlando. They're certainly a strong team. 26 for Stokes, although he shot the 3-ball really poorly. Then we lost to Minnesota. Much like the Atlanta game, Stokes and Salise were really good. Everybody else was not. And against Utah, we lose by 5. Again, Salise and Stokes, each with 30. Nobody else had more than 14. The bench shot the ball really, really bad. So the good news is Stokes and Salise are playing as I expected. They have led the way for us. Everybody else, though, is kind of struggling. We're towards the middle in three-point percentage and three-point attempts per game. It feels like our team is so inconsistent from three. We've got a lot of really good shooters, but they just have some really bad off nights. The Atlanta game was an example, some other ones in recent weeks. We've had some bad games. So the All-Star voting is now open. Kajai Stokes is 9th in terms of backcourt players in the West. I think you need to be top 7 to make the All-Star game, so he's currently not in it, but he's close. There are some guys who should not be ahead of him. Reed Shepherd shouldn't. De'Aaron Fox shouldn't. Donovan Mitchell's hurt. Jaylen Brown, I don't think, should. Stokes should probably be in the top 5. They are disrespecting our boy. So hopefully he continues to play well over the month of January, and we are too good of a team to where we can't not have an all-star. So now we've got Indiana and Boston, the 3rd and 4th best teams in the league. Boston has the number 1 offense and the number 1 point differential in the league, so I kind of want to see them. I was originally going to play Indiana, but I feel like Boston's a really compelling matchup. We ended up losing by 25 to Indiana. The weird thing, though, is that we led at halftime and then just kind of fell apart. 4 for 13 from Jabari Springer. He is now shooting 41% from the field. And in January, he is shooting under 36%. So his efficiency problems have just gotten worse. And I don't know what the fix is. Maybe we have him come off the bench, perhaps take away some of his minutes. I don't know. Let's look at this Boston team, though, who's playing some good basketball, specifically this guy, Everest McLeon, who's having a ridiculous season. He's in 2nd place for the MVP. He's probably the best prospect we've seen in this series, and he has certainly lived up to it. Jason Tatum's having a great year, and the backcourt of Darius Garland and Shaedon Sharpe, both acquired in the offseason, have given this team some life. They've been painfully mediocre throughout this series, but I feel like this offseason they were reinvigorated by trading away Jaylen Brown. They signed Garland. They trade for Shaedon Sharpe. They trade for Desmond Bane. This offense is so good. You have Tatum and McLeon both playing as number 1 options. You have Garland, Sharpe, Bane, Carter Smith, all shooting the lights out from 3. What I find most interesting about their lineup is that they have the rookie, Kalai Jalushonis, starting at the 5. They've just put him in the starting lineup within the last couple of weeks. He was drafted towards the very end of the first round, so it's rare to see a player drafted that late become a starter on a contender this quick, but I'm not that surprised. If you guys remember, I really wanted us to pick him. I thought he was going to fall to the 2nd round. Didn't happen. His numbers aren't that crazy, but his impact is really positive, which is exactly what I expected when he got drafted. Here is Stokes, swings it over to Mobley, up to Jabari Springer, top of the key, 3 is good. We need him to get going. He's got to shoot the ball better. His offensive performance has been inexcusable really all year, for the last month specifically, as McLeon swoops in for the interception. Pull-up jumper is good. There's nothing Everest McLeon cannot do. I think he's the most well-rounded player in the NBA. He can score, he can pass, he can rebound, he can guard every position. He does everything. As Darius Garland hits the 3. How did the Celtics of all teams get so lucky to jump up to the top of the draft and pick him? It's not fair. Springer in for the layup. He's got the first 7 for Golden State. A strong start for him. Jason Tatum around the screen. The anomaly hits the 3 for the Celtics. I think the trade of Jaylen Brown has really helped Tatum out a lot, and him being the clear number 2 has been key for this team, as Kajai Stokes hits the 3 after an 0 for 3 start. But back to Tatum, he's as good of a number 2 option as you can have, and I think that's a big reason why this offense is by far the best in the NBA. He hits the 3, and the Warriors call time. Boston averages 157 points per game, and to put that in perspective, there's only one other team who averages more than 144, as Tatum makes the dunk. The only team above 144 is Orlando. They sit at 150, but Boston is just running circles around everybody in the league on offense. There's Garland with the layup. He's been a great addition for them this offseason after bouncing around over the last few years. Springer lobs it up for Evan Mobley, who is in with the alley-oop. Springer trying to get involved, of course, as a playmaker. Look at this matchup. Barbecue chicken all the way. Layup is good. But McLeon is there to send help, and it doesn't matter. Stokes makes the play. Slow start, he missed his first 3. Since then, he's 4 for 4, now with 9. Tatum, what a move on Leonard Miller. The layup is good. JT's playing awesome so far. He is, without a doubt, the best number 2, not just in the NBA right now, but we've seen in a while, maybe other than Luka in San Antonio. There's Kajai Stokes with the layup, 22-21. Low-scoring start for Boston standards. I mean, this team averages 40 points a quarter. Tatum drills another 3. He is en fuego. He's got to be at a dozen points already. I mean, he's played so well. Jaluchonis, no good. Gets his own miss. Off the fake. Layup is good. Kalai Jaluchonis averages 3 points and 5.5 rebounds, but it's the intangibles he has at his age with the defense. That's why Boston's giving him big minutes as a rookie. Sidestep. 3 ball is good. For Salis, he's off to a quiet start. Now with 5. 6-point Celtics lead. Nobody's going to guard Springer. Darius Garland just let him through. He wanted nothing to do with that. And you guys think I'm bad at defense. Garland didn't even try. Time winding down on the shot clock. Hodge, jumper is good. He beats the buzzer. The rookie, Ramon Hodge, makes it a 4-point game. Shot and game clock, pretty much even. Tatum, the spin move, jumper over Walter, rattles home. Another make for Jason Tatum. He has been unbelievable. 35-29, seconds left in the quarter. Springer gets the screen. Springer on the drive, takes it himself inside of Dembona. No good. I don't even know if he got it off. Not that it matters. 35-29, the Celtics led by Jason Tatum. 15 points in the first quarter for JT. He has been electric for the Celtics so far as we go into the second. Tatum out of the game, along with McLeon. Hopefully we can take advantage. Bane around the screen for 3. That's the Celtics' biggest strength, their depth. You've got Bane and Carter Smith as the 7th and 8th guys off the bench, averaging 16 a game on 50, 40, 90 splits. I mean, that's just not fair. Nice lob there for a Dembona. Stokes has it poked away and stolen. Lennon Morris has it, but Stokes gets it right back. One-on-one with Garland. Stokes inside. Mobley. Layup is good. Way to fight back. Kajai Stokes was not letting the Warriors lead that possession without points. But he's not done. Pokes it away from Garland. Looks to take it himself. Instead, he lobs it up for Dembona, who caught a body. Posters Darius Garland. 40-37. Here's Desmond Bane with it. Bane again. Another 3. I mean, this team has too many good players. They're not going to be able to keep all these guys going forward, but it makes for a legit contender in the East. Lob is unsuccessful. Bona to Stokes. Pull-up jumper is good. 16 points now for Kajai Stokes. After a bad start, he has really begun to heat up. He's made 7 of his last 8. Nice dunk, though, for Boston to get things back going. 46-43. Salis matched up with Shaedon Sharpe. Bona blocked at the rim. Lennon Morris, what a play, and it's out on the Warriors. Morris with an incredible denial acquired a few years ago from the Nets for Keontae George. Maybe the only bad trade the Nets have made in this series as Garland hits the 3. Morris, a 4th-year pro from Kennesaw State, former second-rounder who's developed into a fringe all-star as Shaedon Sharpe makes the dunk. Despite being an all-star level guy, though, Morris comes off the bench, which just shows how good this team is. Tatum, 3, makes another one. Jason Tatum back in the game, picking up right where he left off. McLeon, though, has been kind of quiet as he's wide open off the double for Morris, and he hits the triple. If Evers McLeon can really get heated up, that would be a big deal. 57-47, Springer splits the defense. Layup is good. Wow, what a move by Springer. I thought that was going to be blocked by Morris, but Springer did a great job of not letting him get a hand on it. Here's Carter Smith, 2nd-year guard from Texas Tech. One of the best young shot makers in the league. He'd be a starter on probably 25 teams, but here in Boston, he's the 8th man off the bench. 60-49, Leonard Miller gets the screen, hits the 3. Quiet start for him offensively, but for the most part, he's been great on defense with McLeon. Walter fading out of bounds, hits the mid-range. Good shot for Jacoby, whose efficiency has improved in January. Not that that says a whole lot, as Mobley has it ripped away and stolen by Carter Smith. Looks to split the defense all the way. It's pinned off the backboard. Morris gets it back. Counted and a foul. Wow, we nearly had a great defensive play with the block by Leonard Miller, but Morris gets it back, gets the and one, and misses the 3 throw as Miller steals it away from Garland all the way with the jam. When these two teams were facing off going into the game, I was not expecting a defensive battle, but here we are. A ton of big plays as Morris hits the long two. We had a guy camping under the basket. We knew Tatum was not going to get the ball and get a shot off within a second. Morris throws up junk, and it's good, though. Tatum, three. Bang! 69. Nice. To 60. Here is Stokes matched up with Garland. Stokes floats it up. No good. Morris the rebound. Seconds left for Boston, looking to make it a double-digit lead. Tatum, he gets it from McLeon with two. Pull-up jumper blocked by Mobley. And that'll wrap up the first half, 69-60. The Celtics lead by 9. I mean, if nothing else, we're hanging in there against, in my opinion, the best team in the NBA. I get that the Pacers are right there. I get that the Nets and the Pistons have better records. I think this Boston team, though, is the team to beat. With McLeon as the number 1, Tatum's the best healthy number 2, and with this offense, I think it's really hard to beat a team like this Celtics squad, but we're hanging in there. Now only within 6. Stokes, pump fake on the drive. Stokes' layup is good. He had 22 points in the first half, continuing his impressive scoring outburst, and he's doing it on great efficiency, 62% from the field. Tatum launches a prayer. It's good! Beats the shot clock and somehow gets it to go. 23 for Tatum. Him and Stokes, this is a duel right now. The lob is a success. It's Mobley with the slam. 76-68. Hodge in the corner. Salis for 3. Big make for the Warriors. We are within 5. 76-71. Here's Jason Tatum. Step back. Matched up with the much smaller Birkin. So, of course, he's going to step back for 3. And he makes it anyway. Leave it to Tatum to take the worst shot you can think of. And it still goes in. 79-73. Springer gets it over to Hodge. Throws up a prayer, and it is answered! Ramon Hodge, top of the key 3 is good. 81-76. McLeon dancing around the defense. Euro step. Layup is good. Nice maneuver by McLeon. He's got 11. They need him to get going. He hasn't been inefficient. He's just not shooting the ball. Blocked inside. Kalija Luchonis. Off the miss from Springer. Here's Garland. Lobs it up for Lennon Morris. And it's a 9-point Boston lead. 85-76. Salis gets the screen. Mid-range jumper. No good. Bona the rebound and the putback. As he gets by Jaluchonis and makes him pay. 85-78 now. Here's Jason Tatum. Another 3. Another make. A shooter's touch for Tatum. He's up to 34. It's a 10-point Boston lead. Stokes, layup. That one is good. He's been quiet. I mean, mostly because he's been out of the game. It's not like the third quarter against Atlanta where he was really bad. He just hasn't played much over the last few minutes. Garland a 3. We're up to an 11-point lead. Boston is really starting to put themselves in a comfortable spot, but they are not done. Tatum's shot is good. Foul on Jaluchonis. The shot counts, though. It's a 16-point game with 14 minutes to go. We need to outscore them by at least a point in the next minute. That's a good start. Stokes hits the 3. But if we want to make a rally, we've got to start now. I mean, it is really hard to come back against this team in this building with this fan base shouting Lord knows what vile racial profanities you can think of. McLeon block. Gets it back. Blocked again. Osborne Outeridge gets him twice. On the other end, Romero Birkin hands it off for Mobley. Mobley matched up with the smaller Carter Smith gets the double. Birkin to Stokes. Stokes back to Birkin. We want to get it back to Mobley, who had the mismatch. Mobley doubled. Stokes, open 3. Bad release. Mobley the rebound. Mobley's blocked by McLeon. Gets it back again. And the Warriors hold on to possession. Birkin on the drive. He's blocked by Morris. A block party here in Boston. Bain, Smith, the lob. No. Outeridge ends up with it. Here comes Golden State now. Evan Mobley has it over to Stokes on the drive, and he is fouled, nearly blocked again. The defense over the last minute, really impressive from both sides. 11-point game after the 3 throws. Stokes on the drive, layup is good. A 7-0 run for the Warriors. Actually a 7-0 run for Kajai Stokes by himself. Celtics end the drought with the mid-range jumper for Garland. And so it is now a 10-point game with just seconds to go. Only 14 for Salis. He's been quiet today. Out to Stokes. Deep 3 at the buzzer. Rattles home. It's good. Kajai Stokes with an incredible ending to the third quarter, essentially keeping us in the game. 2.5 minutes ago, we were down by 16. But Stokes has turned on the Jets with 10 points in that stretch. And we're back in it, only down by 5. Make it 3. Lucky bounce for Walter. The Warriors on a 15-2 run. Desmond Bane triple. Big make for Boston. They needed that badly. They were in a rut. 6-point game. Springer looks to get out of trouble. Runs by Tatum. Layup, no good. Grabs his own miss. Put back is good. 15 and 12 for Springer. He's been solid today. Stokes in the corner, matched up with Smith. Around the screen. Don't let him get hot. Another 40-piece for Kajai Stokes. That's 3, maybe 4 in the last 2 weeks. Stokes around the screen. Mid-range jumper is good for the lead. 24-7 run for Golden State. Stokes with 16 points in that stretch as Bona is in for the dunk. This feels like the moment where Kajai Stokes has put his name on the map as a superstar, willing this team back into the game for the lead. I don't know what Adem Bona was doing there. That might be the easiest 2 points of Kalai Jalachonis' life. 1-point game. Carter Smith for 3. Celtics back ahead. They lead by 2. Stokes looks to get by Smith. Finds the screen from Bona. Stokes on the drive, tries to lob it up, but it's intercepted. It ends up with Tatum. Warriors look to outrun him. Tatum lobs it up! It's shaded sharp! 1/2 of the Slash brothers going airborne. 4-point game. Salis guarded by Sharp. Gets the screen. Salis open 3. Bang! 19 for Salis. Remember when he scored 58 in this building as a rookie? Still a career high. As Stokes makes the layup for the lead. I thought he was going to go for the dunk. But hey, 2 points is 2 points. 46, make it 48 for Kajai Stokes. He put up 50 against Atlanta and has a great chance for 50 here. And he's done it on only 29 shots so far. Tatum, the lob for McLeon. No, it's intercepted by Miller. Miller up the floor. Stokes for 3. It's good! 51 for Kajai Stokes. It's an 8-point Warrior lead. We are now on a 40-16 run over the last 12 minutes as Garland makes the layup. Maybe the worst offensive 12 minutes for this Celtics team all season. I mean, this is maybe the best offense in the history of the league. And they looked flat. Unable to get the lob. Tatum, mid-ranger is good. We're within 4. This game's not over, though. Just because we played awesome over the last 12 minutes does not mean we can take our pedal off the metal. Big-time 3. It's Salis. We're up by 7. 17-6 run if we want to narrow things down a little bit. Mobley, no. Good defense by Jalachonis. Here comes Boston, under a minute to go. Jason Tatum with it. Tatum on the drive. Layup is good. Boston finally with 50 points in the half. They've had multiple 50-point quarters this year. As Miller is out of bounds. That's not a foul. I thought there was a push from McLeon, but no, they say he was out of bounds. It's a turnover, and Boston gets it back. 123-119. Jason Tatum with it to the Celtics. Throws up a bad mid-ranger. Kind of fitting as Springer is fouled. I'm one of Jason Tatum's biggest advocates, but even I can admit that he does that way too much. Celtics get it back, though. Sharp with the steal. All the way with the slam. We are within 2. Antoine, you've got to hold on to the ball, man. That is a costly turnover. Boston will not foul, it looks like, for the time being. Stokes on the drive. Not going to take the shot. We're going to take our time. Maybe we should have taken the easy shot, though. Stokes on the drive. Layup, no good. Grabs his own miss and is fouled! That sounds like the dog in him! Kajai Stokes heads to the line as Jalachonis fouls out of the game. That is his 6th. First one for Stokes, nothing but net. Not phased by the loud crowd as the second one is good. And it is a 4-point Warrior lead. Boston calls timeout. I think what you really have to note here is that Boston just used their last timeout. We still have 2. So we can really prioritize putting our best defensive lineup out there, even if that means taking a guy like Salis out right now, because we can call a timeout if we need to bring him back in, potentially for free-throw purposes. As for Boston, they may have 12.5 seconds, but they're going to have to get the shot off quicker, given that it's a 2-score game. Tatum's been the go-to guy. I would guess they're going to look for him. He's shot a lot of threes today, so we've really got to guard him up well beyond the perimeter, force a bad shot out of him, which, knowing Jason Tatum, is entirely possible, or get him to the basket and hope that we have enough guys clogging the lane for Tatum to make a bad shot in there. So 12.5 seconds. It is a 4-point game. Morris will inbound for the Celtics. He's going to go to Garland. Garland with Stokes. Step back jumper. It's a 2, but it is good. And the Warriors will use one of their timeouts, presumably to get Salis back into the game. Although in an ideal world, we're going to give the ball to the guy who has 53 points as he is fouled by Garland. We'll see if he can make them both. Look to make it a 2-score game once again. The Celtics do not have a timeout, so they're going to have to play off of the make or the miss. I think if you're Kajai Stokes, there's no way you try to miss either of these free throws. You do not try to miss the second one, especially if the first one goes in. I would rather make it a 2-score game than give Boston an extra couple less seconds, as he does make the first. 54, 6, and 6. The game of his life. Second one for KJ is good. It's a 4-point game. 7.5. Boston's going to have to shoot it quick and probably a 3. It's Garland with it over to McLeon. Throws it up. It is good! This game ain't over. Hold on. 1.6 to go. Got to inbound it well. Up to Stokes, and he is fouled by Garland with half a second. Credit to Boston. These guys did not quit, but the magic slipper might no longer fit, and perhaps the clock has struck midnight. First is good for KJ. He's up to 56. Second one is also good. 57 points for Kajai Stokes. Boston's going to have to heave it up. I don't think he got it off in time. Nearly goes in, but it bounces out. And the Warriors win a thriller. 129-126 on the road at one of the most hostile environments in the NBA against, in my opinion, the best team in the NBA without our second and third best player. That is an impressive, gritty team win. And when I say team, I largely mean Kajai Stokes, because he put the team on his back and willed us to a win. He was not getting out of Boston without a W. 57 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists on good shooting splits across the board. The guy's a superstar. I mean, there's not a whole lot else we can say about it. And when we drafted him a couple years ago, even I could have never expected this. I thought we were getting a high-end, complimentary role player who's going to stick around in the league, make shots, and play good defense. But I did not see this coming. And his rise to stardom reminds me a lot of Tyrese Halliburton. I don't think the two of them are similar as players really at all. They're extremely different, but their rises to stardom are very similar. I was a big fan of Halliburton coming out of Iowa State, but I saw him as a complimentary role player, a starter on winning teams who sticks around in the league for 15 years and is a thorn and a pain for everybody. I did not expect Tyrese Halliburton to be a number 1 on a finals team in real life and in this series. But here we are. And now we look at Kajai Stokes, who's averaging 36 in the month of January on 52% shooting from the field with our second and third best scorers out of the lineup. I mean, what else can I say? The guy's a star. He's the best player on the team. He's the number 1. He's in 7th in All-Star voting, so he's now slated to get one of those spots. It would be criminal if he was left off the team. He's amongst the top guard scorers in the West. He's the number 1 on a playoff team. He's a really good defender. And he's had games like this where he carries the team to wins. I think the rest of the guys played well enough to where, we were able to win the game. But it was obviously the Kajai Stokes show. 42 for Tatum. Took some bad shots late, but was still pretty good. 26 for Garland. 16 for McLeon with 0 assists, which is low for him. Sharp and Smith did not shoot the ball well from 3. They combined to go 2 for 12. When Boston's shooters are not, shooting the ball well, that's going to cause problems. And even though they shot 41%, many of their role players struggled. One thing I noticed is that we had quite a bit more turnovers than them, 13-9, but we outscored them in points off of turnovers, 17-8. We averaged nearly 2 points per possession off of turnovers. So that tells me that we were far better than them in transition. That's one of the biggest reasons why we won. We were efficient offensively, moving down the floor on a fast break opportunity, and defensively, hustling, getting stops, blocking shots. We're one of the best transition teams in the league because we want it more than the other team, and that was the case today. I think we're going to simulate up to the Blazers game, but not past it. The Raptors want Kajhi Stokes. He is not available. Why would we ever do that? Kobe Cabanner's a cool young player, but no. Brandon Clark and a first rounder for Ramon Hodge. I think I'm good. I would rather not trade Ramon Hodge. Evan Mobley for Derek White and Emmanuel Quickley. Mobley hasn't lived up to my expectation, but that would be a pretty horrible trade. Fit aside, those two guys are not having great seasons on the Huskies. Roman Loggins-Burrell is healthy. That's good news. He's still in second in estimated wins added, and Kuminga's still in third, which shows how important these guys are to the team. Rolog will go back to the starting lineup, and Salis will return to the bench. I think Antoine's done a really good job, though, with Loggins-Burrell out. Stokes for Palermo again. Are these guys stupid? I already said no. I'm not doing this, okay? Lay off the crack. God damn. Adembona, left finger hairline fracture, out for a week or two. And it's especially bad because Evan Mobley broke his nose in the same game. So we don't really have a center. Jabari Springer is not a rim protector, but he's going to have to play the 5. Kuminga's going to have to come back a little bit early. He's going to play the 4. And we're going to have to focus on defense off the bench. The second-round rookie, Louis Delmar, is going to get some run. Okay, this is actually kind of an interesting deal from the Nets. Ramon Hodge for Devin Harper. He's having a great year with Brooklyn. Nearly 26-9 per 36. He's a much better player than Ramon Hodge. And if we're going all in on this year, this would be a good trade. But Hodge is a rookie. Harper's on the last year of his deal. So we ended up doing okay in the games we simulated. We scored 154 against OKC. Shea struggled while Stokes had 31. I feel like Stokes wasn't that good, at least for his new high standard over the last couple of weeks. You know who has been good? Roman Loggins-Burrell. In his 3 games back, he's been awesome, over 26 points per game, shooting the ball well. Salis shot the ball well too, while Springer went 5 for 18. I'll give him credit, though. I think he played pretty well during this 8-game stretch. He had a couple really bad games, but for the most part, he was fine. Overall, though, we go 4-3. I don't love losing to New Orleans. Jamar Fofana had a triple-double. Dante Vittori, who was really good against us last year in the playoffs with the Spurs, he had 26. I don't know why the Spurs didn't bring him back. I think that was a big mistake. We also lost to the Grizzlies, who's really the only good team we played in this stretch. We only lost by 5, though, and the Grizzlies are in first place, for what it's worth. That Jaylen Brown trade really could not have worked out better for everyone. So we are currently in 6th, only 6 games out of first. And I want to keep an eye on the Spurs, who are in 8th place, because with them not really in it this year, the West feels wide open. The East is not wide open. I think there's a clear top 4, and I think any of those 4 teams would be favored in an NBA Finals against anybody in the West. But with the Spurs not really in it this year because they're not going to have Luka, and the rest of the roster outside of Wemby sucks, it feels like the West is wide open. So we need to potentially be aggressive and make a trade at the deadline. As constructed currently, this team is not good enough to win the West, and we're certainly not good enough to win a 7-game series against one of those top Eastern teams. Obviously, Kajhi Stokes is the number 1. I think Loggins-Burrell and Kuminga are off the table with pretty much any trade, but I think we have to be fair game for anyone else. Antoine Salis has been really good this year, and he's been steady and reliable. He's one of 2 guys, along with Stokes, who's played in every game. But he's a free agent at the end of the year. As for the other 5 guys in our top group of 6, they're all free agents next year. And with Mobley and Springer both struggling, maybe it's going to be a much harder time for us to pay them. So maybe we flip one of them for an upgrade. We definitely have to improve the bench. That unit's not good enough. And of course, we have the Sixers and Clippers pick, which, as I've said, I feel like is the most valuable draft pick right now in the NBA. Do we trade this pick away or do we keep it? We would have a really good chance of that pick moving up in the lottery and getting a really good young piece to add to this core. But with the Spurs pretty much out of the running in the Western Conference race, the conference is wide open. And with that good of a trade asset, we can use it to get a really good piece that I think could potentially put this roster over the top of some of the other teams in the Western Conference. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. This is without a doubt the most pivotal trade deadline of the series for us. We've got to really take a step. The worst thing that this team can do is stand pat because the lack of depth and the inconsistency in the front court, this team as currently constructed cannot win a title. But with a really good trade deadline, whether we keep the pick or not, I think that could change our outcome for this year. Hope you guys enjoyed, though. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. I apologize. It's been like a week since the last episode. That was not really intentional. That's just kind of how the schedule worked out. But I'll make sure the next episode is in like 3 days or something just so we can make up for it. All right. Peace out.